costs of healthcare have exploded, and few people have much, if anything, positive to say about their plans. But that's about to change. This is Tales from the Plan, a series dedicated to benefit plans and employers taking care of their employees and families. This is how it should be and will be again, and it starts now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Empowering Your Plans with the FIA Group. I am your host, not co-host, Pat, host, Adam Russo, the co-founder and CEO of this amazing company. Today we have a special episode of, what's it called, Pat?
Tales from the Plan.
Tales from the Plan. We've done a couple of these, and I think, Jen McCormick's was a big hit previously, right, Pat?
Yeah, that's right.
But folks, thank you so much for joining us here today. We have a very special guest. One of our own employees here, Michael Vaz, is going to be talking about his tale from our plan. And folks that don't know, what we basically talk about is we obviously, as many of you know, have a very innovative, award-winning health plan where we basically have done everything possible to ensure the highest quality, lowest cost to our employees. And we use it as not only a retention tool, but as a recruiting tool to ensure that we get the best and brightest employees to come work at FIA. So with that, I want to make sure I welcome Michael Vaz to our program. Say hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Wow, he gets it. We still only had 2 people that didn't follow the right protocol. Is that correct?
That sounds about right, yeah.
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got here, and then we'll start getting into some of the tales.
Sure. So my name is Michael Vaz. I am the Sales and Accounts Coordinator. I work with an amazing team here.
Wait, time out. Doesn't he have to say that? Like, who would say, I work with a really horrible, crappy team. I actually hate all the members of my team. They suck. I should have their job. I'm not sure why I'm working for them. Why aren't they working for me? I mean, any of that true? Do you feel that way at all about any of the people that you work for?
No, I actually am lucky. I've come from a place where I wasn't as lucky, so I do happen to have a pretty good team, and I'm not just saying that.
Yeah, I know. He's only talking to the CEO of the company. He's not just saying that, right, Pat?
Right.
I mean, who would ever tell me right to my face that they don't actually hate their job? Still waiting for that person. Anyways, keep going.
Maybe the next Faces.
Yeah, so I am from Portugal. My parents came here, immigrated here when I was about 5 years old.
Wait a second. Are you legal?
I am.
That's the first thing we need to make sure.
I am very legal.
All right, well, Pat, we got to make sure we get you have a green card or an actual citizenship?
I actually have an American citizenship.
Wow.
Yes.
They gave that one to you.
Absolutely.
It must be very easy, the process to get this done.
Especially from Portugal, sure, exactly. But we migrated to Dorchester, Mass., like a few other people that I know in the company.
I wonder who.
And worked in the industry with providers and on the ASO side, kind of with the big boys for years. And had an opportunity to come and be part of the sales team and joined about 8 months ago, and here I am.
So how did you end up here, though? Like, why would you want to leave that beautiful, wonderful world of ASOs and all the big insurance companies? Why would you pick to come to a little tiny company like FIA? Working for this crazy CEO that you do?
Well, that's a great question, and there are a couple of different answers. One is I kind of had reached my limit as far as growth, and B, I really saw what the big companies were doing, obviously not to name any, but really saw the ins and outs and the details on how they processed claims and how they treated people, and the company was so big that I just became a number after a while. And so I heard about FIA, and, I knew someone very close in the company and had the opportunity to have my resume put in front of the team, and here I am.
For full disclosure sakes, folks, just so you know, I've known Michael, Mr. Vaz here, since we were,
11, 12?
Yeah, 11, 12. We grew up in the same neighborhood. So we took the bus together every day to high school. His high school was across the street from mine. So we hung out, played basketball, baseball, hockey, his yard, backyard, the pool, everything. So we grew up together in the same neighborhood. We're all still friends today, all the kids that grew up together. But when he reached out to me, I made sure that not a single person in the sales team knew that I even knew who he was. So he was hired on his own merits, and I think you were highly appreciative of that fact because I want to make sure I had nothing to do with it. But they're all like, yeah, this guy Mike is amazing. I'm like, you know what? I know Mike. I've known Mike for 30 years, and he is an amazing person, amazing individual, and I think he's going to be a great fit. And so far, we're very happy. Let's not change that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, Mike, Tales from the Plan. We asked our employees to voluntarily reach out and say, if you want to be part of a podcast, you responded right away. Why?
Well, the timing was impeccable. Just before, so I've been here about, 8 months, give or take. And before I came here, I was diagnosed with cataracts. Yes, I'm only 46 years old, but I had cataracts in my left
Portuguese.
eye. Yeah, so it's just a sign of getting old. And so I had surgery scheduled, obviously with my previous insurance, which was through my wife. And the surgery was only scheduled for June. And so I was eligible for benefits about 4 months ago. As soon as I was eligible, I went to HR and I talked to them about the surgery. Obviously, we have such a great incentive plan. I mean, just going to HR, I got a $100 check. Bam.
Why would I give away $100 for no reason?
Well, it's a great question because it gives HR the opportunity to research the facility that you're already scheduled for.
So you had a place scheduled,
Correct.
a facility that you already picked to go to.
Correct.
You go to HR, I give you $100. Basically, I'm bribing you to go to HR. And HR tells you what?
They tell me, give me the information. Let me do a little research. We're going to take a look and find out, where the highest quality facility with the most cost-effective price, and maybe give me options. Now, it turned out that the facility that I was already scheduled to
Right.
happened to be one of the highest quality, most cost-effective
So I wasted
for this
$100.
surgery. Not really.
I did.
Well,
Pat,
I
I wasted $100.
I guess you did,
Kinda.
but you would have never
Kinda.
known.
I would have never known, right?
You would have never
So I
known.
guess you don't know it won't hurt you, though. That's what they say. But the bottom line is this. Our process was able to confirm, not only to you, but to our plan, the place you were going to have this surgery was of the highest quality, and the price was one of the lowest, cheapest prices available as well. So it could have turned out low quality, high cost. It could have turned out pretty good quality, high cost. So at the end of the day, we ended up with what we actually were hoping to have, right? High quality, low cost facility. So how'd it go?
It was amazing, and this is something I wrote down some notes, but I can
Feel
just
free to read them.
freestyle. It really was, when you say high quality, most cost effective, this was the most amazing experience when I went in there. And, it was a place in Natick. Again, I don't need to name the facility, but they were just wonderful. They really took care of me, and I'm not BSing. Like, they were awesome. They followed up with me like 3 times after the surgery. I got an implant in my eyeball. That's not like getting glasses. I got literally my eyeball shaved and an implant in there. So that I was a little nervous.
Right.
But they made me feel great. And, I really felt that the quality was impeccable.
So a couple questions. One, you've been in the health insurance business, provider side or ASO side, carrier side for how long?
About 10 years.
How long you been here?
8 months.
Okay. What have you learned in 8 months here at FIA that you never knew, even though you've been in the industry for over 10 years, a decade with the big boys? You come here in 8 months and you go, wow, I didn't know that. Wow, you can do that? I mean, anything you can share, because you're one of the few people that work here that actually has been to the other side, right? You're not just, almost call it like a FIA immigrant. You came from some faraway homeland. You came over to America, and now you're here to share how different the experience is here versus what it was like over there. What have you seen? I don't know. What sparked something in your mind? You're like, man, that's pretty amazing.
Sure. I mean, I could tell you one thing. The other side certainly keeps you in the dark. I was working for an ASO, and I had no idea it was an ASO. I had no idea that you could self-fund a plan. I had no idea that if you self-fund a plan as the employer, that you can make it however you want.
That you could design your
You
own
can
plan.
design it. You can design benefits. You can design anything,
You can have incentives.
Incentives. I was just taken aback.
You
taken
assume
aback.
that it's just cookie cutter. Here's the plan design. That's what you sign up.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Well, that's how it is. I mean, that's how it is in that world, right? So they're not going to tell you anything different. Pat doesn't need to know that he should really be making $20,000 more for the fact that he's producing the show. I'm not going to tell him that. Oh, I just did. But I'm not going to tell him that, right? I mean, the whole point is I'm going to keep you in the dark.
Right.
So what you're saying is coming to FIA for the first time showed you that our plans actually are empowered to do whatever it is they need to do for their employees and their dependents.
100%.
So you've switched over to FIA's plan now.
I did, and I'll tell you just a brief story.
Please.
So my wife, who works for a ginormous company, a medical device company, great company, they do great things, and we had insurance through
It
them.
must have been great.
It was great. It was
I
a
mean,
good
they are in the
package.
medical business. They're a profitable organization, I'm assuming.
They are very profitable.
Right.
They're one of the largest companies of its, for what they do in the world.
Right.
And so we had insurance through them. And so when
For
I
yourself, your wife, and your daughter.
and my daughter, exactly. And so when I became eligible, I sat down with HR, we went over everything, and then I brought it home. We discussed it. We went over it
You actually the comparison plan to
plan by plan, side by side.
Okay.
And while the payments per paycheck were similar, my wife's first glance goes, oh, well, about the same. It's actually a little tiny bit less. And then we started going down the list, but we had a $3,800 deductible.
Ah, Pat, we bring this up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Folks never, ever bring that up. What annoys me, and we even get this from brokers, Mike, so not even just you, where they go, well, it's $200 here and it's $200 here. No. We have no deductible.
No deduction.
So that means, folks, Mike, you were paying the first $3,800 out of your pocket before the plan kicked in.
That is correct.
Here at Fee, it's zero. So you're actually saving almost $4,000 instantaneously. Anything else that popped out?
Oh, absolutely. And so then we started looking at copays and things of that nature, where with my wife's previous insurance, we had very high copays, and especially as it pertained to prescriptions. As I said earlier, we're getting old, so I have tons of prescriptions. My wife has tons of prescriptions.
Maybe we should have not have him on the plan. Pat, I'm thinking we got to find a way to exclude Mike from the plan. Maybe go back to his wife's coverage. What do you think?
Got to rewrite the
I mean,
plan
he's
all
got
over again.
cataracts, all these drugs he's on. His wife's on a bunch of drugs. He's telling us how old he is.
Yeah.
Heck, he's got a black eye right now during our interview because he fell down somewhere and he was drinking too much. I mean, clearly, this might be a risky employee to have on the plan. This might be a laser. Zing, zing, or however you want it. We can make some kind of laser sound for that, Pat. But all kidding aside, so your copays were higher on the pharmaceuticals. We have zero copay for generic, zero copay for urgent care. So I'm assuming that black eye involves some urgent care.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all seriousness, my wife and I actually tallied up how much we've saved in copays in the last 4 months. And
How
it was
much?
about $642.
Just on copays.
Just on copays
Not
for
including the
prescriptions.
$3,800 deductible.
Not including
So
the
we're
30.
almost at $4,500.
That's right.
And that include the urgent care need
yep.
this past week?
This past week, I fell in the shower, in quotations.
Pat fell in the shower. Okay, I know. I know what that is. Okay, no problem. You fell in the shower. We've known each other for
fell in
30
the
years.
sho-
That's fine. So you fell. You got a black eye. You went to urgent care. And what was your copay?
$0.
Why? I got to make that higher. Zero copay. I'm basically encouraging my employees to drink and fall and then go to urgent care. Pat, what do you think?
I think we need Jen in here, stat. Rewrite the plan.
We got to rewrite this plan. I mean, it's too good. It's too enticing. All kidding aside. Obviously, people fall down and get hurt. But you went to urgent care, no copay.
No copay.
So, I mean, the bottom line fact is, overall, what you're noticing is, one, that plans can be created any way they want. Two, you can incentivize patients. You, for the first time in a decade, are actually a consumer of healthcare rather than just going to wherever your doctor's telling you to go. You actually, for the first time, found out that where you're going to have surgery, how good the quality is, how cost-effective it is to make that choice, which is obviously a surgery on your eye. Again, this isn't like, rotator cuff surgery. You might go blind, okay, if this doesn't go right. So it's important. And then, two, from a standpoint of incentives, to ensure that you are using generic drugs whenever possible, you're going to urgent care instead of an emergency room, if possible, because that copay is zero. And whereas an emergency room, it's not. Anything else you want to share with us, Mike?
No, just all seriousness, it's just been a really good experience, from saving money on deductibles and saving money on copays and, in urgent care. My daughter had strep throat, urgent care.
Oh, you got to add your daughter to the mix now, too?
The
Now she
antibiotics
has
was
claims.
free.
My
it's
goodness, what are we doing?
A wonderful plan we have here, and, and it's awesome.
Well, folks, if you want to emulate the FIA Group's plan, you know who to contact. Not me. Anyone else at FIA, but not me, and especially not now. I'm the CEO. I don't have time for all these kinds of things. I'm only kidding. Of course, you can contact me. But obviously, our job here is to make sure that every plan that we represent, the hundreds of thousands of plans we represent, that we can emulate. We can do whatever we do in our plan and mimic that for your plan so that your employees can also be empowered and you can do everything possible to offer your employees the highest quality, lowest cost care that's available to them. Mike, it was a pleasure having you today. We appreciate you sharing your personal story in regards to your cataract and all the sicknesses and all the diseases that you seem to have.
Thank you so
fabulous.
much. Thank you.
So, folks, it's all the time we have for today. On behalf of Pat Santos, our wonderful producer, myself, your amazing host, Adam Russo, and our special guest, Michael Vaz, thank you so much for empowering your plans with the FIA Group. Have a great day.